Alright guys, Rampancy here to show you the Bulwark build. I will link to everything you need in the description below. We're going to have a link to basically an Excel spreadsheet in Google Docs that describes all the talents, the build. I've got a link to a talent calculator, everything you need. So I'm not going to go about it in this video. What I'm going to do in this video is show you a solo BRD run. Obviously not the whole run. I'll do a couple trash pulls and then I'll probably sneak down to like the Ring of Law or something and do a boss just so you can see it can solo. One other thing here, my gear is not amazing, right? Like I'm missing a trinket. So this build is for people that are still trying to gear up and want to have fun doing it and have the ability to do it solo. So just going to toss my buffs up here and I'll do a couple pulls so you can see how it works. It's not the fastest DPS build, but it is definitely decent. I could pull a little more than this if I wanted to, but just gonna do a couple so you can see. And these are the easier mobs. There are some more difficult ones later in the instance. I think I can solo like 8 or 9 bosses, probably a little more if I really tried. Some of the trash pulls are really hard that are all casters. So for the all casters, I suggest switching your agility over to stamina. That way you have the most health, because right now I'm literally pure agility just for the block. You'll see I just used Riptide for the first time there. The passive healing from Judgment of Light is pretty good. And this build can tank for dungeons. I ran one last night with another healer, and we just demolished this whole instance. So, yeah, it's really good. As you can see, some decent damage output. And I end the fight with full health and full mana. It works whether I'm in a group or solo. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to phase shift my imp, and I'm going to stealth through. I might have to pull another pat here just to get to this boss. But you'll see the imp doesn't aggro because it is phase shifted, which makes it unattackable to enemies. Usually when I clear these for gold, I'll clear all the packs because they drop a lot of blues and greens. So it's really good gold. But if I'm looking for specific gear pieces, I'll go right to the bosses. Might aggro these guys. Oh, skill. So I'll just go right down to this first boss. It is kind of a caster boss, but you can just see what the build does here. So I usually try to get Ghostly Strike up pretty early because that extra dodge is really awesome. You can see I've got 63% dodge with it up, and without it 48%, so it's not bad. I'll also activate Shield Lock just to mitigate a little damage here. So I prioritize Revenge and Shield Slam, I'm good at speaking, as my main abilities here. If you're not taking a lot of damage, it's cool, but usually I'll prioritize Holy Shield and Ghostly Strike if I'm taking a lot of damage. And you'll see she's about half dead now. So my imp is doing some damage. He's out of mana. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out the Ghost Wolves, the Feral Spirits. Just for a little bit extra damage and healing. Really for the damage, you'll see here they start absolutely just melting the boss. The only downside is that it gets rid of your imp. So, you know, that kind of sucks. It gets rid of Soul Link, but really, while they're up, it's not a big deal because you can see they're doing a lot of healing. So, you know, missing Soul Link is not really a problem. And the boss is dead. Just for fun, I will go ahead and go do like Ring of Law, just so you can see that work before I kill the video. I might do a completely separate video that's just stealthing around and killing bosses. Well, you'll have to see. So as you can see, I'm triggering Aspect of the Viper just for some free mana regen, because summoning the imp is pretty expensive. So free mana regen while I go between the different pulls here. Keep in mind though that oh, looks like I forgot to turn on phase shift because I'm a noob. So make sure you turn off Viper when you do get into combat here. And we'll just we'll finish this quick and then we'll continue on. I could take a little bit less damage if I was prioritizing my Holy Shield, but it's not a big deal. The big heal from Riptide really does heal for quite a lot, so it's not a big deal if your health gets a little low. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to wait till this dot is up, cleanse it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just vanish. I'll let my pet die or I'll dismiss it. This way we can get to the boss faster. So we're going to head to the Ring of Law here. Make sure you keep Sanctuary up. Other nice thing about this build is you can use the Imp Fire Shield, which is a 3-minute buff. It's not the end of the world if you don't use it. You know, I've got it macroed, so it's just one button on my mouse, so it's fine. But really, the only buff you absolutely have to keep up that's on a shorter than 30-minute cooldown is Sanctuary, which is 10 minutes. So there's some other builds I tried which use a lot of thorns and that kind of deal, and it absolutely sucked trying to keep all those buffs up. And I'm probably going to aggro these guys, yep. Which is fine. Gonna toss up shield block. And while I usually don't overlap, so if I'm using shield block, it is a 40-second cooldown with a 10-second duration. I won't use, obviously, Holy Shield, because you don't need over 100% block, and I won't use Ghostly Strike until it's up, just so you don't overlap if you don't have to. And I'm still testing out Seal of Wisdom versus the Seal of Light, right? So the passive healing or the passive mana regen. I have found that the passive mana regen is really nice when you're fighting a boss, right? When you're fighting 1v1, because Riptide does use a decent amount of mana, and you don't do a lot of blocking, dodging, or parrying versus bosses. So I think Seal of Wisdom's better, but I'm still trying it out. And as you can see, the rotation's pretty smooth. If you like button mashing, fun for you. And you can see, so Ghostly Strike's up. I've got 61% dodge right now. Now it's over. I'm going to go ahead and do shield block. You'll see my block's 110%. Stops 305 damage, but you know, I wish I could show you exactly how much it blocks, especially when you critically block. There's monsters in here that hit for 2,500 later in the dungeon, non-crit. So dodging those are really important, and then if you don't dodge them and you block them and you critical block, it's going to save your life. Alright, so let me just go ahead, loot, and I will go do Ring of Law so you can see it. The only thing about Ring of Law is, you know, you can get a melee monster or you can get a caster. So you can't really change it over to stamina instead of agility because you don't know if it's going to be a caster or not. The good news is, if it is one of those pesky caster mobs, you can use the doorways for line of sight to line of sight the casting. I don't know if I'll get a melee mob or not, but we'll see. Between line of sight and wind shear, you know, it's pretty easy to not get hit by stuff, at least in the Ring of Law. There's some parts of the dungeon which are a little more tricky than others. So you see my pet's taking quite a bit of damage from Soul Link. I haven't really made macros for it yet. There he goes. I should have faced these guys away so he didn't get cleaved. So I'm kind of a noob there. Noob move. Anyway, I should make a mouse over macro for Riptide. I just haven't done it yet. You can see even without Soul Link, I'm doing all right. And use the use the Shadow Fury for its damage and for the little bit of breathing room, right? If you see I'm getting a little low on health, and if I need a second to maybe heal up, just stun everything and then Riptide, right? Or Riptide and stun. Gives your HOTS a minute to go off, but as you can see, I get quite a bit of passive healing just from Judgment of Light. And then the mitigation, if I'm sitting here dodging or blocking, the healing from Seal of Light really helps. I don't even cast Riptide too often. And for those wondering, I was using Demon Skin, but it really wasn't worth it. I'm wearing a lot of like leather and mail, and I still have almost 6k armor. So Demon Skin was only giving me like 1.5% extra physical damage reduction, which I'd rather take an extra ability than use that. So just in case you're wondering, that's why I don't have Demon Skin. The 5% health is okay, right? The 5% healing, but I don't know. It wasn't anything amazing to me. So I'm going to resummon my Imp here so I can get my Fire Shield back. I'm going to go ahead and rest and toggle Viper while we're waiting. They stack, so you can get mana back real fast. I don't ever carry water, ever. Make sure you toggle Monkey before you get into a fight, and it's a melee mob. All right. Well, you can see this doorway here is what I would use if it was a caster mob. You see there's my block chance. You can see my block value. And again, I let my Imp just cleave down because I'm not paying attention. Normally I would pay attention to that. This guy also stuns, which obviously you can't do any of your dodging or blocking when you're stunned, so can hurt. But you'll see, I should be able to do this just fine. Stuns are real annoying. I'm kind of waiting to pop Wolves. I know I have it. I'm just waiting to see if I get low, right? I want to show you. I did not want a cooldown dependent build, right? So Wolves are really there for the extra DPS and some emergency healing if you need it. I really can just use my normal rotation and my normal abilities and do just fine. See, especially when Riptide crits, it's pretty awesome. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use Wolves because he's almost half dead. I don't want to waste any of the cooldown on him. And you can see I could solo this guy, it would just take a while. Going to go ahead and shield block. Again, while shield block's up, I don't usually use Ghostly Strike, so that's why it's on cooldown right now. See, my block chance is ridiculous, even without shield block up. Yeah, it's pretty well timed on the Wolves. And he's dead. All right, guys, that's basically the gist of the build. Any questions, feel free to check out the spreadsheet. Again, I'll link to it in the description below. It'll have the talent calculator, whisper me in game if you want to chat, or theorycraft. I'm an absolute noob at this game. I'm just having fun learning the builds. So thanks for watching.